G'day, my name's Wilfred West from Locksport, Victoria, Australia. Welcome to Locksport, the home of online gaming, wonderful views and Australian wildlife. I do hope you like these videos, if so please subscribe. G'day, my name's Wilfred West and I'd like to talk about the so-called gas shortage we're having here in Australia. Now, in 3 years' time, the experts had predicted that there will be a world glutton of gas. So there'll be an oversupply of gas in the world, so therefore those prices will go down. But in Australia, we're going to have a shortage of gas, so therefore of course those prices will go up. This is what the gas companies are hoping for because they'll make more money out of it. But my concern here is to Malcolm Turnbull. Now, with one stroke of the pen, Malcolm Turnbull could solve this problem. Okay, quite easily. He would get the Labor support, he would get the Green support, he'd even get Pauline Hanson's support. Maybe not some of the Queensland senators up there or the Queensland people, because what he has said, he said that he's asked what these companies are going to do to keep our supply of gas here in Australia. And so far, that is the wrong attitude to have. I would, if I was in his position, I would instantly say to the gas people, 40% of this gas, or if it's 40% or 25, let's say 40% of this gas, instead of shipping it overseas, stays in our local markets. You're still going to make a profit from it. You're still going to get all your bonuses and all that goodies and all those things you'll get, but it's going to stay in Australia. Okay, we have to look after our interests. Right, this is Australia, not the big business interest. So far, Malcolm Turnbull has failed the Australian people. Perfect example: Barnaby Joyce. Okay, when it came down to the milk pricing, now instead of actually forcing that company, right, or those companies to say, hold on, you agreed to the milk pricing here with these farmers, you got to pay them that much money, right? Instead of forcing that upon those people and looking after our farmers, they turned around and now give loans to the farmers, which they have to end up paying back anyway. So Barnaby Joyce, as far as I'm concerned, is a joke. He should never be in politics. He doesn't care about the Australian farmers or the Australian people. So far, Malcolm Turnbull has let the ball down for Australia and not just Australian farmers, but also Australians in general. Now, it is proven that coal stream fracking, I should say, it's been proven that actually affects the earth and affects the water tables and affects the environment. No matter how you look at it, it's not safe, it's not environmental friendly, and it's not safe for us now or in our children's futures. Now, what I would do, right, is what the Tesla companies suggested to do, is put power. First of all, build your power stations, right? Build your renewable power stations. That's one of the key things you have to do. But at the same time, you need to build battery backups, and you have to put the battery backups in key areas, right? So if something happens, like a natural event, cyclone, twisters, fires, if any of these natural events happen, the rest of the grid, you might be able to shut down. You might be able to have to shut down part of the grid where these battery backups are, but the rest of the grid is safe, right? If you put all the battery backups together in one spot, and if a fire happens between, or even a terrorist attack happens between that spot and the main grid, you've got no leg to stand on, basically, right? So what Malcolm Turnbull, which I'm really disappointed at him about this, is he's turned around and blamed renewable energies. He's turned around and blamed us Victorians not allowing fracking. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Malcolm Turnbull, anybody who votes in Victoria, any politician should say, right, who puts their hand up and says, I want to do fracking in Victoria in any way, shape or form, I will never vote for him, ever. Okay, that's the golden rule I will live by till the day I die. Okay, now, second of all, you as our leader have basically pushing the blame on everybody else, putting the blame on renewables when it wasn't renewables' fault. And to begin with, right? You're trying to use a scare campaign against majority of us Australians, and I think that's wrong. I think that's, how would I describe it? I'll call that below politics. I think you're just using that to basically scaremonger everybody into doing what you want them to do. Alright, because your only interest is Malcolm Turnbull and the Liberal Party, and also big business. You want to still give $50 billion to foreign investors. Now that $50 billion could actually go into Australia and actually build Australian renewable energies. Like where I live, we got sun most of the year round, we have wind most of the year round, we have the ocean out the back there, and that's basically tidal generator. Now all you have to do is build a big enough area to cover this area, and to have a storage facility in the commercial area. We've got a commercial area where businesses are and stuff like that, so we could build enough storage there. Okay, have it so all the power goes into there, any excess goes back onto the grid for us to use, and also any excess from that will go onto go into the main grid. Now at night time you simply flick a switch, you've got your batteries full, that runs everybody. Okay, you could do it a lot better, a lot cheaper. Yes, it costs money to begin with, but once you've spent it, no, it's like the NBN. The Labor's version was better than the Liberal, simple as that. Yes, it would cost more money, and I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money on it, but we have to become a world first in the NBN as well. And we've got so much renewable energy, and you're not grasping that, right? You don't care about that. You also want to stick to the old trade agreement which we had with America, and they're trying to build up with everybody else. Which, let me think about this. In one of those statements in there that you failed to remove or failed to mention to the Australian people, was that if a company, right, if a government changed the law that affected a company's profit, that company could potentially sue the country. Are you here to look after Australia, Australian interests, Australian people, or are you there to look after big business and yourself and the Liberal Party? That is the question we have to ask ourselves. Okay, and so far, all the Liberal Party has done is screwed over anybody who earns basically less than $100,000 a year. They don't care about the poor people, the majority of us who do vote, right? And we can basically, the idiots did put you in power, which is a bad mistake, but we can remove you from power just as easily. The resources of Australia should stay in Australia first of all before going overseas. Any politician turning around and saying, you've got to do fracking, is either a fool, right, or thinks you're a fool, that it doesn't harm the environment. It does. And if they think they can make it safe, they're still doubly a fool. Okay? It's going to take one natural disaster and that will ruin that. You get a natural disaster when, say, we've got solar panels on your roof. Well, you simply clean it up, recycle the stuff, put new solar panels on. Same with wind turbines. Same with other things. Now, I've said a lot about this. I'm a little bit disappointed, as you know, I'm a little bit disappointed in our local leaders. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. And yeah, I think that I may be only one voice. And maybe only 5 or 2, maybe only a couple of people might watch this video. That's neither here nor there. But if one of those 5 or 10 people see this video and then tell 5 or 10 other people, and then they tell 5 or 10 other people, and so forth and so forth and so forth. If one of my statements sinks in that we need a government that's going to care about Australia first, Australian people first, and the Australian environment first, and our resources first. That government that puts a hand up for that, not like what's his name overseas, the American president, similar, but all we need is a prime minister that's going to willingly say, I'm here for Australians, I'm here for the Australian country, Australian people, the Australian environment, and our resources all have to stay in Australia. I'm here for all Australians who want to basically reunite us as a whole, regardless of what colour your skin is, regardless of what you believe in, regardless of what science you believe in. If you don't believe in science and stuff like that, then that Prime Minister will win votes. That Prime Minister will basically look good, and if they keep to the word and they keep to everything they have, say, for Australia's interest, then yes, that Prime Minister would win, probably not just one, but not two, but maybe 3 or 4 elections, because they care about the Australian people, not the big business end of town, not giving $50 billion to foreign investors, hoping that they will basically put more money into Australia and create more jobs, which is proven to be false. Yeah, I think I've pretty much said everything. I know fracking is dangerous. I've seen enough stuff on YouTube and other things and done enough research to know that it is actually dangerous. And they might not think about it dangerous now, but you're talking about 10 years, maybe 100 years or 200 years. That is still in the ground. That means, so they have an event where the water table sinks that low and then picks it back up again. Now that water table now has got all of that poisonous water in there, and you can't use that water because it's poisonous. Right? The world is only going to get drier, only going to get a lot harder for everybody, right? And not just for my generation or my kids' generations or their kids' generations, but for further down the track. And we have to start looking after our country first. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Okay, I do hope you like this little video. My name's Wilfred West from Locksport, Victoria, Australia, signing off. Thank you for watching, and all comments are welcome. Have a good think of what I said, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the next election if I'm right.